Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Mercy. I am a 42-year-old corporate executive and I share tips and hacks for healing, growth and abundance here on YouTube. Today, we're going to dive into something all of us as human beings experience, and that is anxiety. We'll talk about what makes you anxious and how to transform those overwhelming feelings into your power for growth. Now let's get started. About 12 years ago, I became aware that I had this constant feeling of anticipation, but there wasn't anything specific that I anticipated. It's just this constant and pervasive feeling that made me unable to focus or concentrate on anything. I grinded my teeth during sleep and damaged my enamels, and sometimes I even woke up from suffocation and found it difficult to breathe. One day I had a panic attack without any visible stress or danger, so I went into therapy and learned that it was severe anxiety. Have you ever felt anxious about anything? If the answer is no, I'm pretty sure you are in denial because as human beings, anxiety is a primal fear we've been feeling since infants, and it's a fundamental part of our early development. The first anxiety every person experiences is the first time we separate from our mothers. That's the first time we develop the fear of uncertainty. It's an inevitable and necessary feeling to keep us alive, actually, in the face of danger, but it does become a problem if it's too overwhelming. You know, some people are just more anxious than others. Some of us definitely have it worse. Is it because we're mentally weaker? Are we more timid? So many people used to say or even believe that you can use your mind to lead your emotions, and if you cannot, it means your mind is just not strong enough. But with the development of biology and neuroscience, now we know that how we feel is mostly controlled by our nervous system. Anxiety isn't just a matter of mindset, it's deeply rooted both in your biology and your life experiences. It could be caused by trauma, the body keeps a score as we know, and it could also be genetics, your DNA. But first, let's begin by looking at what anxiety is exactly. In psychology, it's basically your brain's alarm system going off when it senses danger, even if the danger isn't real. It's the stress and worried feeling you get before a test, a job interview, or when something uncertain is coming up. And in biology, anxiety is your body's way of preparing for a threat. Your amygdala in the brain triggers a flood of stress hormones, cortisol, and adrenaline. Back in caveman days, it helped our ancestors stay alert against predators like a tiger or a bear, for example. In the modern world, we don't often meet tigers or bears, and they show up as job insecurities, social pressure, money problems, but your brain and body still react the same way as in those caveman days. We know the fight or flight response. We either have a fight with the beast we encounter in the forest or run away from them. This system can be life-saving, but when it's constantly switched on by those modern stresses that we cannot fight against or run away from, like you can't really punch your boss in the face or physically run away from unpaid bills, to release the cortisol and adrenaline. So those hormones build up in your body and gradually you just feel trapped in this state of hypervigilance. And if you experience traumatic events in life, you are more vulnerable to anxiety because trauma overactivates the amygdala, which is the brain's fear center, and makes it perceive threat even in situations that are not actually dangerous. This makes it harder for your brain to distinguish past trauma from present reality. And childhood trauma in particular can instill beliefs like I am unsafe, I am incapable, I'm unworthy. And those beliefs foster a persistent sense of insecurity and self-doubt. By the way, a lot of trauma is caused by abuse, and abuse is not just physical or sexual violence. It could be emotional, like shaming and belittling. Neglect and abandonment are also forms of abuse. Apart from trauma, some of us might carry a genetic predisposition for more anxiety too. For example, there is a serotonin transporter on the 17th pair of chromosomes called SERT, SERT, that can make certain people more sensitive to stress. Scientists have found that people with shorter SERT are more likely to feel anxious than people with longer SERT because the shorter SERT has a lower serotonin reuptake efficiency. Serotonin is the neurotransmitter for mood and sleep regulation. When the overall serotonin signaling is reduced in your body, it leads to heightened anxiety. So if anxiety runs in your family, you know that there could be intergenerational trauma and could also be a biological component at play. Now that we understand why we feel anxious, what can we do to transform this overwhelming feeling into productivity? I know a lot of us use self-medication with alcohol and other substances to manage anxiety. Yes, they can mute the alarm in your head and provide some immediate relief to non-emotional pain or avoid triggers. But we know it's just temporary and they actually make your symptoms worse. You get stuck in this vicious circle of feeling anxious, reaching out for substance, feeling even more anxious, reaching out for more substance. Chronic alcohol and substance use will also disrupt your serotonin and dopamine systems and cause long-term damage. There are many other ways to cope with anxiety effectively. The first thing you can do when you feel anxious is practice deep breathing. It's a scientifically supported and accessible technique to reduce anxiety. It activates your body's relaxation responses and improves your emotional regulation. You basically place one hand on your chest and the other on your diaphragm, your belly. Inhale slowly for 4 seconds, feeling your belly, not your chest, your belly here rise, and then exhale fully through your mouth for 6 seconds. Repeat it for 5 minutes and you'll feel better. You can do it every day in the morning before you start your day, at night to wind yourself down, or during the day whenever you feel stressed. Apart from the breathing exercise, workout exercises can also reduce anxiety levels like aerobic exercise, yoga, strength trainings. It's like in caveman days, fight or flight can discharge the stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline in your body. And physical exercises will do the same thing. They can also help you release endorphins, which is your body's natural mood booster, and make you ground yourself in your body. Focus on the present. Take your mind off any past trauma or future uncertainty. Sometimes anxiety comes from this deep-seated feeling that you're just waiting for someone to guide you, that when something happens or someone appears magically in your life, you'll finally feel okay. This is your subconscious waiting for your parents to come back and make everything better instead of accessing your own power. But you are no longer a helpless child. You are an adult with the power and capability to become your own safe place. You can redirect your attention and intention from anxiety to something you want to achieve. When you think about eliminating anxiety, you would feel even more anxious because suffering is pain plus resisting pain. Anxiety exists, it's a pain, but when you accept it and not resist it by trying to make it disappear, you will suffer less. Focus on things you can control and take the energy back to you. Redirect your attention and your precious life force to something else, something you actually want, that's meaningful to you, that will make your life and others' lives better. If you find it difficult to redirect your energy, it could be that your inner child is stuck in past trauma. A technique used in therapy to bring your focus to the present is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding technique. First, wherever you are, look around you. and identify 5 things you can see, like a laptop, a chair, a table, a mug, a picture on the wall. Then you notice 4 things you can physically feel, like the texture of your clothes, the surface of a table, or the feeling of your feet on the ground. Now, listen carefully and identify 3 sounds around you: the traffic, the birds, the humming of your computer. And now focus on 2 scents you can smell. If you are in a place where you can't smell anything, think of your 2 favorite scents instead. And finally, identify 1 thing you can taste: a snack, a sip of water, or even just the air in your mouth. After those 5 steps, your parasympathetic nervous system is activated and your body is reminded that you are in a safe place. So you can relax and place your attention to something productive. There's also a safe place visualization technique called anchoring that's used in therapy. You start by thinking of a person, someone who's ever made you feel safe, supported, or believed in. It could be a family member, friend, teacher, or even a stranger you encountered once. Focus on the memories and feelings associated with this person and allow yourself to fully immerse in those positive emotions. This is your anchor. If you find it difficult to think of a person, consider an animal that provided a connection and brought you comfort. And if you can't think of an animal either, think of an object that represented safety or love to you. Spend a few minutes in this state and remember this feeling associated with your anchor. And this is your safe place you can return to whenever you need. And those, my friends, are the techniques to manage and transform anxiety in today's chaotic world full of uncertainties. If you'd like to share some of your experiences or techniques, please leave a comment below and let's chat. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye!